All right, in this explainer, we are diving deep into a video that's getting a lot of attention. It proposes a pretty new and you might say controversial theory for what causes morning sickness, and it offers a solution called the hormone code. So let's break it down. The source material kicks off with this quote, and wow, talk about painting a picture. It's meant to immediately connect with anyone who's been through it. We're not talking about just feeling a little off. This is describing an experience that totally upends your entire life.
Okay, so let's get into the reality of it. The video we're looking at comes from a holistic health coach, Marie Berwald, and she starts by really setting the stage, framing the problem in a very particular way.
So here's the foundational argument. Morning sickness is not some minor, cute little pregnancy quirk. No, it's presented as this seriously debilitating condition that can make it almost impossible to function day to day. It messes with your job, your family life, and your mental health, all while you're basically being told to just suck it up and wait 9 months.
And a big point in the video is that the usual advice, well, for a lot of people, it just doesn't cut it. You know the drill, the ginger tea, the saltines by the bed, even the stuff your doctor might prescribe. The source basically lists all these things and says, nope, for many, this isn't working. And that really sets the stage for a totally different approach.
So if the crackers and the tea don't work, what's really going on here, according to this source? This is where we get to the core theory, the big idea behind the whole video.
Now this is a really interesting claim. The argument here is that even though feeling sick during pregnancy is super common, it's not necessarily normal or something you have to go through. Citing that 20% of healthy pregnancies have no nausea at all, well, that's a direct challenge to what most of us have been led to believe.
Okay, so the theory zeroes in on a specific culprit, a hormone called GDF-15. The video explains that early in pregnancy, your body gets flooded with this stuff, and it basically sends a direct signal to the part of your brain that controls nausea and vomiting. It's like it's flipping a switch. And that brings us to this key concept she coins, hormone intolerance. This is the term the speaker uses to explain why one person might feel fine while another is completely laid out. It's kind of like how some people can't handle dairy. The idea is that some bodies are just way more sensitive to that big hormonal surge.
All right, so if the problem is this hormone intolerance, then what's the solution? This is where the source introduces its own proprietary method, something called the hormone code.
So the hormone code, what is it? As it's explained in the source, the goal isn't to get rid of the hormones. They're supposed to be there. The goal is to change how your body reacts to them, to lower that sensitivity. The claim is, if you can do that, the nausea will just, well, naturally fade away. So how does it actually work? Well, it's described as a two-step process. First, you use a technique called muscle testing to, as the source puts it, find specific energy imbalances. And then, step 2 is using their protocols to release those imbalances, which is supposed to reset your body's whole response system. And, of course, to back all this up, the source shares some really powerful stories. You've got Paige, who apparently felt better in just 20 minutes. Dina, who had a really severe form of morning sickness and was able to go back to work. These anecdotes are presented as the proof that this method can produce dramatic, life-changing results.
Now, a really big part of the sales pitch for this alternative method involves a direct shot at the conventional medical system and how it handles morning sickness.
This quote really gets to the heart of it. The source is arguing that doctors are basically trained to play whack-a-mole. They see a symptom, they prescribe a pill for it. They're not, according to this view, looking for what it calls the underlying problem or the root cause. And to really drive this point home, the video uses this statistic. The claim that most OBGYNs receive less than 24 hours of nutritional education in their entire medical training. This number is used to make you question, are they really the best people to give advice beyond a prescription pad?
This chart just lays out the whole argument in a really clear visual way. On the left, you've got the traditional approach, which is framed as just treating symptoms with one-size-fits-all advice. And on the right, you have the hormone code, which is presented as the complete opposite, a tailored, natural approach that gets to the root cause. So what's the takeaway here? Well, the source video wraps everything up by positioning this method as more than just an idea. It's presented as this clear alternative path for anyone who's really suffering. And here is the kicker. It comes with a really bold promise. The video straight up guarantees a 75% reduction in your symptoms in 2 weeks, or you get your money back. That's a huge claim, and it positions the hormone code as a surefire, totally life-altering solution. And that really brings us to our final thought.
The source presents this really compelling story, right? It's the natural, holistic solution versus a medical system that it says is failing people. And that leaves us with a really important question to think about. When you're faced with these powerful health claims, how do you personally figure out how to weigh them against what established medical science says? It's definitely something to consider.